very much for joining us and welcome to our today's Gobeshona conference session. This is our first morning session for today, which is jointly organized by UN Women and ICAD. Our today's session is on gender responsive climate resilient agriculture. I hope this topic and this session is interesting, and I hope you will also have fun to listen to our panelists and to engage with us in the discussion session. So let's start with some ground rules. Like we have for the participants, for the audience, you have this chat option and question answer session below in the Zoom link. And if you have any queries, if you have any thoughts, you can share your thoughts, feedbacks, comments, anything in the chat box or in the question answer session, specifically question answer session for questions. So we can raise your question to the panelists and presenters so they can answer them. Number two, if you want to say something, if you want to participate in the discussion with us, just raise your hand so that we can unmute you to take part in the discussion session. So that is also welcome. And number three, there is a interpretation option below in the link, Zoom link. You will see just right after the share screen option, you will find the interpretation. So we have option for two language, Bangla, English. Our main session will be in English, but if you want to listen to our discussion into Bangla, please press this interpretation and turn your language into Bangla so that you can listen to entire discussion in Bangla over there. যারা আমরা বাংলায় শুনতে চাই তারা প্লিজ ইন্টারপ্রিটেশন অপশনে আপনাদের জুমের নিচে যে দেখবেন রিয়াকশন এবং শেয়ার স্ক্রিনের মাঝে একটা গ্লোবের মতন চিহ্ন আছে যেখানে আপনারা ইন্টারপ্রিটেশনের সুবিধাটা পাবেন। আমাদের মূল সেশনটা হবে বেসিক্যালি ইংরেজিতে, কিন্তু আমরা যদি কেউ বাংলায় শুনতে চাই ইন্টারপ্রিটেশনে ক্লিক করলে দেখবেন দুটো অপশন আসে, বাংলা এবং ইংলিশ। সেখানে বাংলায় ক্লিক করলে কিন্তু আপনারা পুরোটা সেশন বাংলায় শুনতে পারেন। এবং আপনারা যে কোনো ভাষায় প্রশ্ন করতে আপনারা স্বাচ্ছন্দ্য বোধ করবেন প্লিজ, কারণ আমাদের এখানে আমাদের টিমমেটসরা আছেন যারা আপনার এই প্রশ্নগুলোকে ইংলিশে ট্রান্সলেট করে দিবে বা বাংলায় ট্রান্সলেট করে দিবে, যেই ভাষায় আপনি স্বাচ্ছন্দ্য। If you would like to ask any question in Bangla or in English, please go with this because our interpretations team will support you to translate your question. And last but not the least, the session is being recorded, and in the meantime we can take some pictures, so please, this is for your kind information. Now let's move towards the main session. At this stage, I would request Ms. Dilruba Haidar, Program Specialist, UN Women, to share her inauguration speech with us. Thank you. Over to you, Appa.
Thank you very much, Abhi, and welcome everybody who have joined. Congratulations to ICAD for organizing this third online conference, Gobeshona, and for giving us the opportunity to hold this event, which is, we believe, is very important. It is about women farmers and agricultural practices of the women farmers and how these practices could be climate resilient. So this is extremely important because women farmers, although recently the government has recognized women as farmers, there are women farmers officially recognized, but the services that the farmers are supposed to get is not necessarily reaching all the women farmers. That's number one. Number two is most of the women farmers in the country are actually marginalized farmers because most of them has very little land or no land at all. And most of the time, the land that they are working on, it belongs to their husbands or fathers. And you would see, if you look at the various research studies, that there is increase of women farmers in the Southwest because it's very hard to do agriculture in southwestern part of the country because of the high salinity. And so most of the men are migrating to other parts of the country or out of country, and the women are left alone. And so the small patch of land that belongs to the family, the women are trying to do some agricultural activities there to feed their family, or if possible at all, to sell some of those. So these marginal women farmers are is almost unlikely. In fact, very little number of women farmers are actually getting the agricultural extension support that government provides to the farmers. And you will very shortly hear a little bit more about a small project that we did together with Practical Action. And in that project, we tried to introduce some techniques of crop production, which saved the crops from the impact of salinity, impact of climate change, like salinity, flooding, and all that. These are very simple, very low-cost techniques. And people have been using most of those techniques for years there. But the problem is the women farmers are not necessarily always getting access to these techniques. So our effort has been to support the women farmers to do so, to adopt those techniques. So we believe that women are coming into agriculture, and Bangladesh still remains, Bangladesh's economy still remains to be, very much dependent on agriculture. And women's engagement into agriculture needs to be recognized, and they need to be supported. And we need to support the women farmers with the right kind of techniques and technologies and extension services basically enhance the community's resilience to the climatic impacts. So that's what we want to talk about in today's session. Welcome everybody to take part, and we will soon hear a presentation. But for now, over to Obhi.
Thank you very much, Appa, for your nice and comprehensive introductory session. Now I would like to request Dr. Farooqul Islam, Agriculture, Livelihood and Business Development Expert, to present the findings and experience of this pilot intervention which Appa was referring to on gender-responsive climate-resilient agriculture, which was jointly implemented by UN Women, Practical Action and WinMiyaki last year. So, but before starting the presentation, we will watch a short video on this pilot initiative where you listen to one of our women farmers in Satkhira district. So can we watch the video now, please?
লোনা এঁটেলমাটির অঞ্চল উপকূলীয় জেলা সাতক্ষীরা শ্যামনগর উপজেলা। ঘূর্ণিঝড়, জলোচ্ছ্বাস, অতিবৃষ্টি, খরা, মানবসৃষ্ট বাঁধের কারণে জলাবদ্ধতা এবং জমিতে অতি লবণাক্ততা তাদের নিত্যসঙ্গী। সুপেয় পানির একমাত্র উৎস বৃষ্টির জল সংগ্রহের পুকুর প্রায় বন্যায় ডুবে গিয়ে লবণ পানিতে ভরে ওঠে। তবুও এই নারী কৃষকরা সংগ্রাম চালিয়ে যায় লবণের বিরুদ্ধে। আবহাওয়ার আগাম সতর্কবার্তা ও জলবায়ু সহনশীল জেন্ডার সেন্সিটিভ কৃষি পদ্ধতি নিয়ে ইউএন উইমেনের পৃষ্ঠপোষকতায় তাদের পাশে এসে দাঁড়ায় প্র্যাকটিক্যাল অ্যাকশন, উইন ইনকর্পোরেট ও কৃষি কল সেন্টার। একটু একটু করে সাজায় বিকল্প চাষ ও সম্ভাবনার গল্প।
মরিচ গাছ সবচেয়ে ভালো, বেশি রোদও লাগে না, বেশি ছাওয়া লাগে না, মাঝামাঝি জায়গায় ওরা হয়। দুইটা যদি বুলেট ঝাল থাকে, গাছ থাকে, তাহলে একটা ফ্যামিলি চলে যায়। বুলেট ঝালের আমাদের এদিকে আবার মূল্য আছে ভালো, আর বিক্রি হয় ভালো। এক এক সময় এক এক দাম, কখনো 100 টাকা করে কেজি, কখনো 150 টাকা করে কেজি, কখনো আবার 90 টাকা 80 টাকা এরকম কেজি। আমি এই করছি 6 বছর ধরে করছি গাছটা। ওই বুলেট ঘাস অনেক কিছু লাগাই, 100 জায়গা মতন লাগাই, পরিমাণ 150 পিস ঝালের চারা রোপণ করি। টোটাল তো ভাগ ভাগ করে বিক্রি করতে হয়, সপ্তাহে সপ্তাহে হাটে তোলা হয়। টোটাল এরম আমার হয়েছিল এরম 2 মণ, 2.5 মণ এরম পাইছিলাম। হ্যাঁ, সমস্যা, পানির সমস্যা। আমাদের এই যে লবণাক্ত পানি, তো চৈত্র বৈশাখ মাসে পানি পাওয়া যায় না। ওই সময় পানি বাড়ির যে ওই মিষ্টি পানি, আমরা ওই যেগুলো চাল ধুই, তারপরে তরি তরকারি ধুই, ওই পানি আমরা সংগ্রহ করে রাখার পরে ওই পানি দিয়ে আমরা দিয়ে গাছের চারায় দিই। আমাদের আয়লা হয়েছিল এখানে, আয়লা হয়ে সেখান থেকে লবণাক্ত পানি আর মাটিও লবণাক্ত হয়ে গেছে। আমরা এই মাটিগুলো এই গোবরের সার, কম্পোস্ট সার, নিজেরা এই উঠোন বাড়ি ঝাড় দিয়ে যেসব ময়লা হয়, ময়লা আবর্জনা হয়, তাই আমরা ওই গাছের গোড়ায় গোড়ায় দিয়ে আমরা ওই মিষ্টি পানি দিলে আবার সচেতন হয়ে থাকে। পাতাটা কুকড়ে কুকড়ে যায়।
হ্যালো
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ জি বলেন, এটা কোন জেলা?
সাতক্ষীরা জেলা,
সাতক্ষীরা কোন উপজেলা?
শ্যামনগর উপজেলা।
আপনার নাম?
আমার নাম লীলারানী মণ্ডল।
বলেন, কি বিষয়ে জানতে চাচ্ছেন?
আমি জানতে চাচ্ছি, আমার এই ঝাল গাছের, এই বুলেট ঝাল গাছ, এই ঝালগুলো সব পাতাগুলো সব কচড়িয়ে যাচ্ছে।
কোকড়ায় যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ, কোকড়ায় যাচ্ছে।
পাতাগুলো কি উল্টানো নৌকার মতো হচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ, নৌকার মতন উঠছে, উল্টানো।
আচ্ছা, পাতার নিচের দিকে কি কোনো ছোট ছোট সাদা কিছু দেখা যায়?
হ্যাঁ, তা তো দেখা যাচ্ছে। হ্যাঁ,
এটা মাকড়ের কারণে হচ্ছে। মাকড়, আপনি মাকড়নাশক ভার্টিমেট স্প্রে করবেন পাতার নিচের দিকে। আর যদি পাতার উপরে পোকা দেখেন তাহলে দিবেন চিডো। বুঝা গেছে ওষুধের নাম?
হ্যাঁ, বোঝা গেছে।
আচ্ছা, ধন্যবাদ।
প্রথমে যে মরিচগুলো ধরে, সব বড় বড় মরিচ সব বেছে বেছে রাখি পাকাবার জন্য, সেগুলো বিক্রি করি না। 10 থেকে 20 দিন ভালো রোদ্রে দিয়ে শুকিয়ে রাখি। শুকানোর পরে বাড়ি গুছিয়ে প্যাকেট করে ভালোভাবে সুন্দর করে ওতে রাখি। কেন নিমির পাতা দিয়ে, তারপরে ইউকারের পাতা, এইসব পাতা দিয়ে ওই মরিচগুলো রেখে দিই। রাখার পরে যে শীতকাল আসে আবার, এই সময় যদি বৃষ্টি হয়, হ্যাঁ, উঁচু মাচা করি 4টে বাঁশ পুঁতি, 4টে চারদিকে পুঁতে নিই। নেওয়ার পরে আর করে দিই এই ভেটার, এই 3টে লম্বা দিই। দেওয়ার পরে ওর ভিতরে একটা কাগজ দিই, পলিথিন দিই। দেওয়ার পরে ওর ভিতরে মাটি আর গোবর সার সব মিক্সার করে ওই ভিতরে ছড়িয়ে দিই। দেওয়ার পরে উড়ির ভিতরে ওই যে দানাগুলো রাখি, এই দানাগুলো ওরির ভিতরে দিই। দেওয়ার পরে গাছের চারা ফুটে গেলে আবার সেই চারা তুলে রোপণ করে দিয়ে আসি। আমি তো কারোর কাছে আশা করি না যে আমার 10,000 টাকা দিয়ে যাক, আমার 20,000 টাকা দিয়ে যায়। ওরা প্রশিক্ষণটা, এই প্রশিক্ষণটা নেওয়ার জন্য আমি আশা করি। টাকা দিয়ে যদি সাহায্য করে, তার কোনো টাকা কখনো থাকে না। ওনারা এসে মুখের কথা যদি আমাদের কৌশলটা শিখিয়ে দেয়, তাহলে আমরা সেই শিক্ষা দিয়ে আমরাই বেরিয়ে যেতে পারি। অনেকজন চাষ করে, তত তো আমার জানা নেই। 500 লোকটা হবে আশেপাশে, একদম এই টোটাল 3 নম্বর ওয়ার্ডের ভিতরে এরকম অনেক লোক আছে। বাণিজ্য হয়ে করে, এমনি নিজেরা খাওয়ার জন্যও করে।
2020-21 সাম্প্রতিক তথ্য মতে শীতকালের 3,93,555 মেট্রিক টন মরিচ উৎপাদনের বিপরীতে গ্রীষ্মকালে মাত্র 99,126 মেট্রিক টন মরিচ উৎপাদন হয়, যাই 12 মাসই মরিচ চাষের মাধ্যমে গ্রীষ্মকালে মোট উৎপাদন বৃদ্ধি সম্ভব, যার ফলে আমদানিকৃত মরিচের পরিমাণ কমে যাবে। কৃষকরা অনেক ভালো দাম পাবে এবং ভোক্তারা ন্যায্য মূল্যে মরিচ কিনতে পারবেন।
Okay, so I will give a short brief of the story. Priyadarshini Appa told a small story of Southwest, including northern drought area where there are huge marginal women farmers. They are increasing because of male member migration. So that's the story. Yeah, here I'm going to present. So this is an effort of UN Women and its partner Practical Action Win Incorporate and AIS Krishi Call Center. Basically, we worked with 1,200 farmers in the southwest and northwest Bangladesh, where really in 4 sub-districts, it was a pilot, So that was done in 2021-22. We experienced COVID as well, so it was more crucial period in terms of climate and other other disaster in the society. The the climate and other disaster really changed the gender role in the farm, in the household. So that was the key of the story here, how they manage these sort of things. And the main problem was, I know, in this story, they were overloaded. They were becoming a new manager in the farm manager in the household. So how they managed these challenges here. There are many things we know about access to land, access to credit. Uh, Domestic violence. We know all this from our past stories. But here, the story more focused on with the salinity, with the drought, with the COVID, how they really managed their farms and becoming a new farmer in the coming generation. So this was fully about their new skills in climate smart agriculture, and also their story about how they use the ICT services. The mobile phone services for their these farming activities. And also, it's quite important that they need to get market. So these three things: market, their capacity for this challenging situation, and also use of ICT digital extension services. We call it smart services now. This was very action oriented. This was funded by Sweden government and UN Women, and the partners work with this. So this was in northwest Kurigram and Chilmari, and in southwest area this is Kaligons and Shamnagar. So these 4 sub districts where we worked with 1,200 very vulnerable women. There is a question that whether they have lands. There is a question. A challenge of they are facing drought, flood, and salinity. So these, in such a environmental context where these are really climate stress area in southwest and northwest, and we pick up the women. They are most vulnerable women there from our selection process, and started to help them to stand up with their farming managerial skill to become an entrepreneur for climate smart agriculture. You see, when we say gender responsive, we are not just bothering for participation. So it's not just participation. It was not just participation of women like the conventional way. So we looked at their income, leadership, time of leisure, and also their work burden. We all know in gender studies, access to resources, production. So these were the key indicators we looked at, and really the contextual dimension is not fixed. I can say without land they can be a manager. So whether they will fight for a land or they will go in other ways with digital identity. So that sort of challenge we faced here. So our gender responsive lens was like that. And when we look at transformational change in case of gender, it was even more deeper. So, basically, initially, the model we followed that they will have self-esteem, they will work together with their husband and family members, and gradually they become independent. They will control the production system and market jointly, and we hope they will independently stand up with control and access. So that was the power model here. We followed along with our technical, a lot of knowledge and experience and wisdom we have. So the power model that and the other agricultural model was followed here to really make it gender responsive, inclusive. Then why this was urgent? You see, very key thing was male member migrated, as Dilruba already told, in southwest and same in northwest. So women has got a new role in the farm with not general agriculture. It's a climate affected stress agriculture. They got a farm, and that farm they have to manage. So we have that urgency to train them up to make them skilled for these sort of challenges. And there are crop damage, there are domestic violence, there was workload, all these things. So we in such a context, we know our workforce is dominated by the agricultural workforce nationally is dominated by is huge women is there. So the challenge is not to consider them as just as a labor force. We wanted to make them skilled manpower and gradually entrepreneurs so that they can even manage labor. So that was the clue of the story. All the statistics from labor to skilled manpower and entrepreneur. So that's what we wanted to make. And really, that was the challenge because increasing the number of labors, the bigger problem will not be solved. So, they were labors, and then some of the women already, diverted to the garments industry. So why? So new agriculture should think this matter. So that was the urgency to make them skilled manpower and a woman entrepreneur clearly. To do that, ICT, and the climate smart technologies were important. I think that was the urgency in such a context. Choice, is related with poverty. Choice with gender discrimination. So we looked at the choice of women, men, even other social groups. So not only just generally, we found that there was variation of choice. Few minutes ago, you have seen the chili farming, bullet chili, the lady was talking about. So there was a particular choice in Southwest. Why? Why not maybe other spinac or other things? Why bullet chili? So of course, we have to recognize that there are differences of choice for many reasons. And if we address that, in this case, we address that issue, the choice of man and woman, the choice of a disabled person with disability, we take into account. A person who has no land, a person who is living in a floating environment, in a volatile environment, we take into account those contexts for our varietal choice and our methods for climate adaptive technology we followed. So that was about the choice, and we found tower method, ring method, mulching. I'll not go into detail, but these are some techniques that help them to really reduce the loss and stand up with their business. And call center from AIS, Agriculture Information Service, and also the other digital services from private sector like wind. So that was really useful to help them in remote locations. So that was about choice of technology. It's not just biological production-oriented technology, it was also ICT technology that helped them to join the market, to face the challenges of entrepreneurship. A list of choice, I'm not going to say details. So you see in two different areas, northern and southern, there are area-specific differences, and also these were preferred by the women. There are regions, chili in southwest, pumpkin in southwest, Indian spinac, bottle gourd of a particular variety and size in the north southwest, lemon, codbell, that's the district. You see, there was upward chili, that's a local variety, bottle gourd, chui jhal of Sundarban is up there in north. They are farming betel nuts, so they know chui jhal can be farmed there as a cash crop. So they adopted that in the northern part of Kurigram district. Seedless lemon, moringa has got many reasons because it has got a better iron. So there are iron deficiency, among the women. So they prefer those things for many reasons. We need to listen to those choice, and we really guide them, help them to know more technical information, business information on these options in these two areas. On digital side, I told you the technical side was like that, and the digital side was we sent 22,000 text messages, 19,000 outbound dialing calls, and 100 to 150 live calls per day for the women, remote area women farmers. They never got such messages, voice messages in their cell phone. 30 or 40% farmers have their phone. Also, there is accessibility problem with between men and women for holding a cell phone. We know that, and we try to address their send the voice messages at right time so that the women farmer get the access to phone and to listen to the advices. So that was the clue of the ICT service, very much target group oriented, and we customize advisory services considering the cost. They cannot talk hours and hours, only 2.5 minutes maybe they got. So they got their advices, roughly 70 advices per year they need. So we really design the service in that way and listen to the women's need, what they are doing and what information they need. It's not that generalized one. Some pictures about the technologies you see. Not all are these are climate smart. You see the sack farming, the the tower farming, the floating garden, heap methods, ring methods, and this picture you understand. But the main thing is all those are climate smart, but not business smart. Even may not be gender sensitive. So we understand that fact that something looks nice with climate smart, but they may not be, those technologies may not be suitable for women and other groups, and also may not be business smart. So we have to make them gender sensitive, climate smart, and business smart. That was the clue of our recipe in this pilot intervention. This is the call center. 11 years ago it was established, and you see we took the existing support of AIS, Ministry of Agriculture, for our service, and we promoted our targeted message through this call center to the women of vulnerable areas in 2 areas. So there was live call. It was really hard to understand sometime over a cell phone communication. They need better literacy to write down the name of the medicine or all these things. So there are still a lot of way to go. We receive so many calls. Really, we don't have that ICT expertise in the Dhaka even. So we need to think about automation of these call centers, because we have millions of farmers waiting for this sort of services. We don't need to send a human extension agent there in the household. We can solve that digitally. So that this was really a great opportunity to have Ministry of Agriculture with us, and we use that Krishi call center for our digital extension services and climate smart meteorological services from 16123. You see some pictures. Salinity was a big struggle there. Salinity changed the gender dimension in the small scale farming. So we need to see that new gender role. A farmer, a woman lady is her husband has gone for work in the Khulna city maybe, and she has got extra new responsibility with challenging situation. So in climate smart sense, the salinity, water, and flood, water logging, all are here, and she has to grow chili for their family and for cash as well. And in climate smart framework, we are trying to do intensification, diversification, and where water is a challenge, seed is a challenge. So we know this keyword: intensification, diversification, irrigation, and seedling challenges. We try to address in the options for these 4 things. Market, it's a big thing. Understand the right side. I'm not going to explain that slide. It's a market system. So understanding the market and then doing a small business, whatever chili, wood apple, whatever it is, moringa, whatever it is. So doing a business is not same like understanding a market. So we try to make the women understand the market first, and also by themselves doing a business. So when they are doing a business, do they know the value proposition of their product? Why people will buy that? What is the customer relationship? How many customers they have? What's the revenue investment they need? And what is the return of investment and then profit? So this is the business structure. And understanding the market, you see the product flow, the laws and regulations, and the business development services at the bottom. So these 3 things are very important to understand. So if you understand the market, not necessarily will be able to do a business. You need to understand the business too. So these messages were communicated to the women, a vulnerable woman, to understand the market, and to know how to do a business before going for a chili or a lemon or a bottle gourd, whatever it is. So that's very important for a vulnerable woman. Otherwise, this climate smart agriculture will not business smart. A woman in Satkhira again, Shamnagar, using a small mechanization, traditional mechanization, drip irrigation with a pitcher, with a, just an earthen pot in their chili and brinjal farm, you see. So that's not very huge in cost. 2,000 taka for a 2,000 taka for a 5 decimal of land, you see, and they are getting they are utilizing best of their water, sweet water, and also they don't need to be laborious. 3 times irrigation for this small land. They can have leisure period doing this, so that will really saving their workload and also saving water. So this was the clue of this pitcher irrigation techniques. The opportunities a lot, not all are the problems. Already we have a lot of women increasingly jointly engaging in climate smart agricultural options, and it's not just for food, it's for business. That's the new thing. They have flood, drought, cyclone, salinity. These are problems, but these also can be an opportunity. If they know the climate smart techniques, because not everyone can grow. So if they can grow, it will be market competitive. So all the climatic problem can be a market opportunity for the women. That's what we really share with them. We understood that, if someone grow chili when everyone is not growing, they will get better market. So that's the opportunity. Women are very active than men, we found. And so that's the opportunity in a farming town. They are very active, and we need to be utilize them in a way so that really they get the return and recognition. Strong participation in farm labor force. We are happy, but not happy to make them labor only. We have to make them entrepreneurs. So the women, those who experience as a labor, we just share them a dream of to become an entrepreneur, not just labor. Skilled labor, and those who are labor, they can be skilled labor and finally can become an entrepreneur, and we will manage labors. Migration is a problem. The male members are migrating, but the problem can again turn into opportunity for women. With mechanization, we can reduce the workload, and also with right choice, we can make the woman entrepreneur with a successful entrepreneur, even in adverse condition. And there are large programs of UN and government and private sector, so which are in and around. We need to tie up them together. So those many opportunities. We will not say that all the problems are really hindering to go ahead. There are opportunities. Challenges, again, in a nutshell, the environmental challenges are salinity, flood, and drought. That's what we faced, and seasonal migration, labor shortage in women-headed households. So even water was a irrigation and water. When you are intensifying for better income, you need more water, and you have no water, and the water is salty. So that's the challenge for farming intensification. The women, marginalized women, will face more than the normal farmers. So that was the challenge. Source of water, even in dry season, there are seasonality. So women may not get water for their small drip irrigation even. So we need to think about water. That was the challenge. How effectively, how we can save water. So varietal choice and mechanization. Climate adaptive solutions are not, they don't have business proof, we found. So we try to generate business proof to build the confidence in the market. So business proof is essential. Climate information, meteorological information, early warning is very important to save their farms. So that's what that was the challenge. There is a huge demand, but not the service is not in place. Government is serving, some private sector is coming forward, but still a huge market for climate information service. For market, it is fragmented. For men and for women, of course, it is more fragmented. Poor market and business understanding. they are really thinking traditionally and trying to catch the market, which is not possible. They have to be a businessman from the very beginning, not just linking market. They need to be entrepreneur. They need to thought that whether their product actually will be sold in the market, whether there is demand or not, something like that. So it's not just growing something and waiting for a buyer. No, they should have buyer. They should know the buyer. That was the clue here. Knowing the buyer, they started their job. They have less recognition, we know, and no specific plan for women, for technology choice, and for digitals, and for market. So these are the three areas when you say they need to be recognized, and it's not just having a card of farmer. It's solution for the digitization, for the mechanization, for the choice. Finally, some changes. So the main problem was access to technology and farm. I mean, even access to land is a problem. However, in a business or in a market centric approach, you can solve that in many different ways. And so they need, we know about farmer card. They to make them and give them the then really we have shown some choices already. You have seen in the video. So this was a pilot. We have shown them that there are choice, variation of choice. So that already understood by the law. So that was about choice. In technology, we are really saving time and labor so that women are not overloaded as a new farm manager. Climate information service, already we shown the way of dissemination, not just writing, it's a voice message. So that's the way we can go far away from here. So the digital smart service need to take into account the accessibility of those services, understandability of those services for women. And of course, PWD, person with disabilities, isolated and vulnerable groups, they have different way of communication. So timing and cost, all these things. So we flagged up that in the community, and also we have shown directions for that. We hope that will be replicated and scaled up to millions in future. Gender actions. It's not just participation. Civil society, organized women-led CSOs there. Simple mechanization like pitch or irrigation, cash and food crop balance like chili and udapel. So this is food and also cash. So that is important for market angle to go ahead with the climate smart agriculture. And of course, they will not merely think them as a labor in the farm. They will think they have business skill to design their business. And we found that with these new skills, wage discrimination is reducing. We found that domestic violence is less, where the income and skills are very good among the men and women. So that are some sort of outcome and results we have seen over the short period. Finally, I would say the cost for digital services, $2 to $4 per farmer per year, something we calculated in our services. And if you want to demonstrate practices, new practices, that will cost a little bit more, but it cannot be subsidized always. We need revenue generating model, and we have shown that direction to AIS, Agriculture Information Service, and the digital services the private farms are doing. So 1:2 cost benefit ratio maybe. And then finally, understanding the climate shocks and using more ICT, private sector integration, gender responsiveness, and large program integration is the way towards sustainability. And in that way, we can reach to millions. That's from my end. Thank you very much for your passion sharing.
Thank you very much, Farooq Bhai. Now we'll watch another video on another intervention of our this climate pilot initiatives. So could you please play the video for us, Tasfiya?
লোনা এঁটেলমাটির অঞ্চল উপকূলীয় জেলা সাতক্ষীরা শ্যামনগর উপজেলা। ঘূর্ণিঝড়, জলোচ্ছ্বাস, অতিবৃষ্টি, খরা, মানবসৃষ্ট বাঁধের কারণে জলাবদ্ধতা এবং জমিতে অতি লবণাক্ততা তাদের নিত্যসঙ্গী। সুপেয় পানির একমাত্র উৎস বৃষ্টির জল সংগ্রহের পুকুর প্রায় বন্যায় ডুবে গিয়ে লবণ পানিতে ভরে ওঠে। তবুও এই নারী কৃষকরা সংগ্রাম চালিয়ে যায় লবণের বিরুদ্ধে। আবহাওয়ার আগাম সতর্কবার্তা ও জলবায়ু সহনশীল জেন্ডার সেন্সিটিভ কৃষি পদ্ধতি নিয়ে ইউএন উইমেনের পৃষ্ঠপোষকতায় তাদের পাশে এসে দাঁড়ায় প্র্যাকটিক্যাল অ্যাকশন, উইন ইনকর্পোরেট ও কৃষি কল সেন্টার। একটু একটু করে সাজায় বিকল্প চাষ ও সম্ভাবনার গল্প।
কদবেলের ফলনটা বেশি হয় এবং ওটা কম খরচেই দ্রুত ফলন পাওয়া যায়। 3-4 বছর পরে ফলন পাওয়া যায়, বাড়িতে একটু খাওয়াও যায়, বাজারজাত করা যায়। মূলত এটা হলো লবণাক্ত এলাকা। যখন আমাদের আষাঢ় মাসে অতি বৃষ্টি হলে আকাশ বন্যায় বলি, এই আকাশ বন্যার ফলে আমাদের প্রচুর পরিমাণে পানি বৃদ্ধি পায়, যার কারণে বন্যা কবলিত এলাকা লবণাক্ত বেড়ে যায়। মূলত গাছ লাগাইলে গাছ মানে শিকড় পাকতে চায় না, মানে গাছটা মরে যাওয়ার পর্যায়ে চলে যায়। আবার কদবেল গাছ কিন্তু লবণ সহিষ্ণু। আমার ধারণা মতে এটা বলে যে গাছটা একটু সতেজ দেখে নিতে হবে এবং গাছটা একটু বড় সড়ো দেখে নিতে হবে, যেটা লাগাইলে দ্রুত লবণের সাথেও খাপ খাইয়ে মানে বেঁচে থাকতে পারে। এবছরে পাশাপাশি 2টা গাছ লাগাইছে, একটা একটু বড় সাইজের, ওই যে এই কর্নারে, আর একটা ওই কর্নারে, ওটা হলো ছোট সাইজের। বড় সাইজটা পাতা ঝরতে এখন দেখছি যে বড় সাইজটা একটু মানে ঝেড়ে উঠছে, কিন্তু ছোটটা একবারে মারা গেছে। এবং আমরা কদবেল লাগানোর চেষ্টা করি, কদবেল হয় কিন্তু ফলন আসতে অনেক দেরি হয়। আমার ওই যে পুকুর পাড়ে যে গাছটা দেখছেন, 6 বছর পরে এবছর এসে আমার ফলন দিছে। যখন আমরা গাছটা লাগাই তখন আমাদের গাছে এমনি প্রচুর পোকামাকড়ে গাছ নষ্ট করে দেয়, গাছের পাতা নষ্ট করে দেয়, গাছে যখন ফল আসে তখন ফলটা নষ্ট করে দেয়। কিন্তু পোকাটা যে কোথার থেকে লাগতেছে এটাই আমরা ধরতে পারতেছি না। কদবেলের গাটা একদম ফ্রেশ থাকবে, ভিতরে পোকা। চারা থেকে মনে করেন 1 হাত কি 2 হাত মানে দূর দিয়ে আমরা একটা রাউন্ড করে দিই। রাউন্ড করে সেখানে মাটিগুলো কোদাল দিয়ে মানে সুন্দর করে আমরা মাটিগুলো মানে ঝরঝরে করে নেই, কোপায়ে ঝরঝরে করে নেই, নিয়ে সেখানে গোবরের সার, তারপর আপনার খড়ের যে পচা আবর্জনা যেগুলো বলি আমরা, সেগুলো আমরা এই গাছের গোড়া দিয়ে দিই, যার কারণে দেখা যাচ্ছে ফলন আসে দ্রুত। সার গুলে তার সাথে শ্যাম্পু দিয়েও আমরা স্প্রে করি। তামাক পাতা আমরা পানির সাথে দিয়ে মিক্সার করে ওটা স্প্রে করে দিই, যাতে ফলগুলো ঝরে না যায়, ফলগুলো ভালো থাকে, পোকামাকড়ে আক্রমণ না করে। ফলন আসার সাথে সাথে আমরা এই স্প্রেগুলো ব্যবহার করি। ফলন আসার আগে ওরা যদি ফুল দেখে কদবেল গাছ নেয়, সেক্ষেত্রে 3000, 4000, 5000 এরকম হাইরেট গাছ অনুপাতে ওঠে। কিন্তু কদবেলে ফলন আসলে সেক্ষেত্রে 1500, 2000 এরকম। সেক্ষেত্রে পার পিস আমার এখানে 3 টাকা 4 টাকা করে কদবেল কি 5 টাকা হাই রেট। ওনারা বাজারে বিক্রি করছেন হাই রেট 15 টাকা, 20 টাকা, 30 টাকা, 50 টাকা এরকম বাজারজাত করছেন। আমাদের জেলেখালি গ্রামে প্রতি বাড়িতে কদবেল গাছ আছে। একটা গাছ থেকে আপনার 1 মণ, 2 মণ, 3 মণ, ম্যাক্সিমাম 3 মণ পর্যন্তও পাওয়া যায়। তবে আমি জেলেখালি গ্রামটা হিসাব করলে দেখা যায় 50 থেকে 100 মণ কদবেল, এবং এর বেশি ছাড়া কম কদবেল পাওয়া যাবে না। 1 মণ কদবেলে আপনার 15 থেকে 2000 টাকা। 1 বিঘা জমিতে অনেক কদবেল গাছ লাগানো যায়। মনে করেন আপনার 30 থেকে 40 পিস কদবেল গাছ লাগাইতে পারি 10 হাত দূরে দূরে দিলে। আমি যখন বাণিজ্যিকভাবে এটা করতে যাব, তখন এটা পরিচর্যা করতে একটা ব্যয়বহুল খরচ আছে। 30 থেকে 40টা গাছের দাম 100 টাকা করে ধরলে 30,000 টাকা খরচ হইতে পারে। মনে করেন 3 বছর পরে যে আমার ফলন দেবে, তা 30 থেকে 40টা গাছে অ্যামাউন্ট ধরি, আমি মনে করেন সেখানে আমি 50 থেকে 60,000 টাকা ইনকাম করব। গ্রামের মানুষ এটা চিন্তা ভাবনা করলে দেখা যায় নিজেরাই বিক্রি করতে পারে। এটা আমরা সচেতন করতে পারি যে বাড়ির ফলন আমরা ঝরে যাওয়ার আগে কি পাকার আগে যেভাবে বাজারজাত করার নিয়ম, সেভাবে আমরা কদবেলগুলো পেড়ে বস্তা করে মনে মনে নিয়ে আমরা বাজারজাত করতে পারি। বাজারজাত করে সেখান থেকে 5 টাকা হলেও আমাদের লাভ বেরিয়ে আসবে।
2020-21 সাম্প্রতিক তথ্য মতে বাগানে কদবেল উৎপাদন 43 মেট্রিক টন ও বাগান ব্যতীত বসতবাড়ি ও অন্যান্য জায়গা মিলে উৎপাদন 4285 মেট্রিক টন। পরিবর্তনশীল জলবায়ু সহনশীল প্রযুক্তি ব্যবহার করে পতিত জলাবদ্ধ ও নিচু জমি কদবেল চাষের আওতায় আনলে মোট উৎপাদন বৃদ্ধি পাবে। বিশেষ করে বাগানের মাধ্যমে কদবেল উৎপাদন বৃদ্ধি সম্ভব।
Good. Farooq Bhai, there are some questions for you. Can you see the question and answer session where three questions? Oh no, not three, four. Elena have two. Four questions
Yes,
are
I can
there,
see.
and we have three hands. Could you please go one by one and reply some of them? And please be mindful on the time too. Thank you very much.
Okay. Uh, I mean, Samara, uh, I can see they are asking about the gender transformative approach. So, yes, we call it gender sensitive, and let there are 3-4 dimensions, so it's gender responsive. And then when you go, I show you the power structure. Initially, a woman or a man will be skilled within themselves, and once they are confident, this is at self-esteem level. And then second step, they will join with the family or a cluster of farmer together. So that's the second step of their empowerment, or doing a business. And after that, they they don't have they may have confidence together, but they may not control the market, or they may not control the production system. So they need to have control on the production system, micro production system, and the macro. You see how many metric tons of cotton, how many metric tons of chili is needed. They need to know that. Otherwise, why they will do that? So in that sense, they will take little together. They will take control on the production system and the market system. Both are affected by climate, So that's the control story. And finally, we hope it's not possible in 6 months and 1 year. We hope that market will control them, production system will control them, but they need to control the production system and the market. So that's the last step of controlling. Control over. We say control with, control over. So that was the gender transformative approach we followed in all cases of codbell, lemon, moringa, whatever you say. Eight solutions we brought to them, and we followed this, that together they understood and confident about codbell. And then with their husband, they understood what is codbell and how to sell it into the market. And they may be cheated for that. So they need to, independently think that they are controlling the market. So that's a little bit far away, but very soon, when they understood the recipe, they will control the market and they will control the production system. Whatever climate or other things come, they think this is opportunity in market term. So that was our transformative approach. Thank you. And the second question was different type of crops for men and women. Yes, would you elaborate that? Yes. I have shown you a list of vegetables and fruits only, but I'm a fish expert. I know there are choice differences. Top 10 species. If you find out in Bangladesh, I found there are, completely, the children don't like a climbing perch. The father like really climbing perch because it has got bones and taste, but children don't like because there are bones. So there are differences already. And the woman, maybe she is searching for a fatless fish, maybe. So they will prefer catfish. We don't know, but really they like that. They thought, if I get a silver barb, I can serve the whole family and he will be happy for that. We do not take into account those facts and really say only the vitamins, calciums, all these things we calculate and want to give a super fish to them, and we thought that they will enjoy this, but they will not enjoy. So we need to understand that facts underline, and that make differences for every crop, animal, fish. You need to ask. We need to ask whether a lady like a goat or a cow, a moringa or a spinach. So really, there are differences for many reasons, and so we need to factor those. And I'm not just prescribing a list. It varied from region to region. The southwest region is affected by salinity, and the northwest is affected by flood and drought. So environment make them for different changes. So I'm not prescribing it will change, but these factors are very important. So for the categories, and we need, when we design intervention, do we take into account those how they will react on those chili, on this lemon, why seedless lemon, something like that. Then the last question is
Farooq
how
bhai,
can yes
Farooq
please.
bhai. Yeah, I
Please.
think we can respond by writing because there is option of writing
Right.
answers. Considering the time, maybe we could go
Cannot
to the, yeah, if you could kindly write some of the answers into the chat box, then we
Okay.
could immediately go to the other panelists.
Yes, fine. So that's from my few responses. If anybody, I will answer those. The other questions on private sector and other things. There are, about gender groups. So I will answer those in writing form. Let us listen from other panelists. And if you have any other questions, we can talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Farooq bhai, because yeah, we are also running behind our time. So I can see one hand from Selina Banu Appa. Appa, you have also shared your question in the question answer segment. So is it the same what you would like to share with us verbally, Appa?
Okay, maybe we could go into the panel discussion because I think as Selina Appa has already written her question in the chat box, we could probably go into the panel discussion.
Okay. Let's do
Thank you, Selina.
Okay. Thank you very much. So let's now, because it's already 10:55, let's go directly to the panel discussion session. So we have a diverse panelist group today with us, and who will be discussing on this pilot intervention. So our first panel discussant is Musammat Beauty Begum. Beauty Appa is a women farmer, and she lives in Suvarkuti Gram in Kurigram. So I would like to request Beauty Appa to share her experience with us right now, and she will speak in Bangla. So those who needs translation, please go to the interpretation system so that you can listen to her speech in English. বিউটি আপা, আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ আমাদের সাথে আপনি জয়েন করেছেন। এখন আপনাকে আমরা অনুরোধ করছি যে আপনি যে এই আধুনিক কৃষি প্রযুক্তি প্রকল্পে আমাদের সাথে যুক্ত ছিলেন, সেখানে কি হয়েছে, কি কাজ করেছেন, আপনার অভিজ্ঞতাটা বা আপনারা কি করেছেন ওখানে, সেটা যদি একটু আমাদের সবার সাথে শেয়ার করতেন, তুলে ধরতেন। থ্যাংক ইউ।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম, ধন্যবাদ আপা আমাকে এখানে কথা বলার সুযোগ করে দেওয়ার জন্য। আমার নাম মুসাম্মদ বিউটি বেগম, আমার বাড়ি সুবারকুটি গ্রামে, হলখানা ইউনিয়ন, কুড়িগ্রাম জেলা। আমার স্বামী একজন দিনমজুর, আর আমার দুটি সন্তান আছে, ওরা দুজনে স্কুলে পড়াশোনা করে। আর আমি কৃষিকাজের সাথে জড়িত প্রায় 15 বছর থেকে, আমার বিয়ের পর থেকেই আমি কৃষিকাজের সাথে জড়িত। আমি অনেক বিভিন্ন ধরনের ফসল ফলাই। কুড়িগ্রাম যেহেতু দুর্যোগ প্রবণ এলাকা, এখানে তো বন্যা, খরা বা নদী ভাঙন প্রায় লেগে থাকে। সেভাবে ফসল ফলালেও আমরা সেভাবে ওর ফসল পাই না, বা ওদেরকে ফসলগুলোকে বাঁচাতে পারি না। অনেক সময় সবজি গাছগুলো সুন্দরভাবে বেড়ে ওঠে, কিন্তু হঠাৎ করে পানি আসার কারণে গাছগুলো সব মরে যায়। গত বছর আমরা আধুনিক কৃষি বিষয়ক প্রশিক্ষণ নিয়েছি। তারপরে ওখানে আমরা কিভাবে মাছা পদ্ধতিতে চাষাবাদ করলে বন্যার সময়ে সেগুলোকে রক্ষা করতে পারি বা বাঁচাতে পারি, সে সম্পর্কে প্রশিক্ষণ নিয়েছি। আমিও মাছা পদ্ধতিতে লাউ, ঝিঙে, সিম, শসা এগুলো চাষ করেছি। ফলনও বেশ ভালো হয়েছে। 450 টাকার মতো খরচ পড়ে। এখন আমি দেখলাম যে এই 450 টাকা খরচ করে যদি বন্যার সময় আমার ফসলগুলোকে বা সবজিগুলোকে রক্ষা করতে পারি, এটা আমার জন্য অনেক ভালো। এটা অনেক সস্তা অল্প টাকায় আমার ফসলটা রক্ষা হচ্ছে। আরেকটা পদ্ধতি এই প্রকল্পে শিখেছি, সেটা হলো কলস পদ্ধতি। আমাদের এলাকায় যেহেতু খরা খুব হয়, বেশি হয়, এই কলস পদ্ধতিতে অল্প পানি দিয়ে আমরা ভালোভাবে চাষাবাদ করতে পারি। এখানেও খরচ তেমন একটা না, একটা মাটির কলস লাগে, আর ছড়া একটা লাগে, আর কাঠের দড়ি লাগে। এটা তেমন একটা খরচ না, 40-50 টাকার মধ্যে হয়ে যায়। আমাদের যে কষ্ট করে গাছে যে পানি দিতে হয় অনেক দূর থেকে, সেটা একটু হলেও এখানে সহজলভ্য হয়, মানে সুবিধা হয়। আমরা আস্তে আস্তে কলসে দড়ি দিয়ে গাছের গোড়ায় প্রয়োজন অনুযায়ী আস্তে আস্তে অল্প অল্প করে পানি দিতে পারি। কিন্তু এটা একবার করলে হয়তো আমার অনেক সুবিধা হয়, একবার করলে পরে আর এটা সমস্যা হয় না। আর এই প্রকল্পে আরেকটা জিনিস শিখেছি, সেটা হলো আমাদের কৃষি কল সেন্টার। ফসলের মৌসুমে আমাদের ফোনে মেসেজ আসতো, পরে পড়ার মতো মেসেজ আসতো, আবার যারা পড়তে পারতো না তাদের জন্য শোনারও মেসেজ আসতো। এই মেসেজে বিভিন্ন মৌসুমে ফসলের রোগবালাই এবং চাষ পদ্ধতি সম্পর্কে বিভিন্ন ধরনের তথ্য থাকে। এটা আমাদের খুব উপকারে এসেছে। অনেক সময় দেখা যায় আমরা যে গাছের রোগবালাই, পোকামাকড় সম্পর্কে জানি না, এটা সম্পর্কে কল সেন্টারে ফোন করলেই আমরা সেখান থেকে প্রয়োজনীয় তথ্য বা ওষুধপত্রের নাম আমাদেরকে বলে দেয় এখান থেকে। এটা আমাদের একটা খুব সুবিধা। আর কারণ আমরা তো আর তেমন বাইরে যাই না, বাড়িতেই থাকি এবং চাষবাস করি, তাই কখন গাছের কোন রোগ হয় আমরা সেটা জানি না। এটা আমাদের একটা বড় সুবিধা যে আমরা কল সেন্টারে ফোন করার মাত্রই আমরা সব জানতে পারি ওখানে। কাউকে জিজ্ঞেস করার দরকারও হয় না, আবার বাইরে যাওয়ারও দরকার হয় না। আমরা এই সুবিধাটা এই প্রকল্পের মাধ্যমে পেয়েছি। আমাদের গ্রামের লোকেরা অনেকেই আমাদের এই দেখা দেখি, ওরাও এই মাছা পদ্ধতি, তারপরে কলস পদ্ধতি, রিং পদ্ধতি এগুলো চালু করেছে। আমার মনে হয় এই কাজগুলো যদি আরো বেশি করা যায়, তাহলে আমরা নারী কৃষকেরা যে আসে, গ্রামের নারী কৃষকেরা আরো অনেক উপকার পেতাম, আরো অনেক ভালো কিছু করতে পারতাম। এটাই আমি আশাবাদী।
থ্যাংক ইউ, ধন্যবাদ, অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। এবং বিউটি আপার ব্যাপারে আমি যেটা বলতে চাই, আমাদের সাথে এই যে একটু ওনার এই অভিজ্ঞতাটা শেয়ার করার জন্য, উনি সেই সকাল 10টা 9:30টার দিকে এসে উনি এই বাজারে একটা দোকানে, যেখানে উনি ভালো ইন্টারনেট কানেক্টিভিটি পাবে, আমাদের কথা শুনতে পারবে, আমাদের সাথে কথা বলতে পারবেন, তাই জন্য আপা সকাল থেকে এখানে এসে বসে আছেন। হয়তো আপনারা অনেক হর্নের শব্দ পেয়েছেন, কিন্তু এই যে ছোট ছোট যেই ওনাদের আম, মানে এটা অবশ্যই আমার ছোট বলা উচিত না, এই যে ওনাদের যে কন্ট্রিবিউশনটা, ওনাদের যে ইচ্ছা, ওনাদের যে হ্যাঁ আমি করেছি, আরো 10 জনকে বলবো, বা আমাকে আরেকটু সাহায্য করলে হয়তো আমি আরো এগিয়ে যাব, এই এই জিনিসটা আপা আসলে আমরা কখনো এই যে সমস্ত অফিস আমরা বসে থাকি, ইন্টারনেট কানেক্টিভিটি খুব ইজিলি পাই, আমরা আসলে বুঝবো না। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ, থ্যাংক ইউ, মানে একেবারে মন থেকে আপনাকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। তো আমরা এখন পরবর্তী প্যানেল ডিসকাসেন্টের কাছে চলে যাই। So we have right now with us Dr. Kashfia Ahmed, Chairperson Winmiaki Limited, and Kashfia Appa will share her experience on this like a mobile messaging system and call center services with us, so that we can have an understanding on their approach. Thank you, Kashfia Appa, over to you.
Thank you, Ovi. Thank you, Dilrubappa, for inviting me. Actually, Win is my organization is Win Incorporate, and Win Incorporate has been working in this field since 2006, and we found that women in rural agriculture or rural area are the unsung heroes. They are never recognized, and they are unacknowledged engine behind the agriculture. Although the total in total agricultural work, 40% is done by rural women, but they are never recognized. They are working in field, and and in house also. All are laborious job, but they do the task as voluntary basis. Rural women who are engaged in the agriculture sector, they have never been accounted for in official statistics that monitor economic and agricultural output. So actually, what are the challenges women face in agricultural sector? We found that the first of all, they are restricted access to land. Most of the women, not most of the women, all women, they don't have the access to land in rural areas, or male are owned the land, so they have no access for agricultural planning. This is the most important thing, and they have restricted credit availability. It's difficult for women to get financing for purchasing agricultural input and equipments because of restricted credit availability. They have restricted market access. They frequently receive lower rates for their products because they don't have market access, and low access to extension service and technology. Though Bangladesh government have good extension services for rural communities for agriculture, but still women have less access to extension services and technology as well. And violence and discrimination against women, this is the common thing in Bangladesh. These are the challenges that our women face in agricultural sector. So what strategies should we follow to engage women in agriculture sector? First of all, we have to provide them access to technology and extension services. This is the most important thing for them. And for giving them the technology access, Bangladesh government has started so many initiatives, and Win Corporate is the first organization who started the mobile-based agricultural services for rural people and then rural women also. And we found that women in rural areas, women they love to take the opportunity because in Bangladesh there are some barriers for women. They don't want to go in front of unknown people, and they have social barriers also. So if the technology like mobile technology we can take to their home, or they can reach the technology, they can easily access to the information. So the mobile information services that we are providing, the weather information or the agricultural advisory or whatever they need, that is the good thing for them, so they can access to technology easily. And another strategy we should take, that is the access to credit and financial services. Programs that give women easy access to credit and financial services that might be introduced to them. And promoting women leadership. Women who have the leadership ability, we should promote them. And in that case, engagement of local communities and religious authorities might play a good role for encouraging women's engagement in agriculture and leadership as well. So why we are talking about the locally led adoption practice after so many years, where the agriculture have been invented by women. Women have in fact been fundamental to agriculture for thousands of years, and their knowledge and experience have been crucial for both food security and sustainable development. But now, day by day, the droughts, floods, storms, salinity, these type of disasters are increasingly frequent. So gender equality and sustainable development may be promoted by integrating women, rural women, in the design and implementation of locally led adaptation methods. Although women have played a significant part in agriculture for millennia, climate change and natural disaster have generated new difficulties that require inventive and flexible approaches to agriculture. These issues can be addressed while advancing sustainability and gender equality in agriculture by promoting locally led adaptation techniques that incorporate women. Why women is important to play a role as the climate champion or agriculture champion? Because of their distinctive knowledge, abilities and experiences. Rural women in Bangladesh are crucial as climate champions or agricultural champions, like our beauty appa, I think, because they are really heroes. They are not the unsung heroes. They are the real heroes. They who are fighting against climate change. So yet women are frequently disadvantaged and excluded from decision-making processes, which might restrict their capacity to take part in attempts to adapt to mitigate the effects of climate change. We can use women's knowledge, rural women's knowledge and leadership potential to advance sustainable development and climate resilience by recognizing and elevating them as leaders in agriculture and the environment. To promote sustainable development, increase climate resilience, and address gender inequality in Bangladesh, it is crucial to support women as advocates of the environment and agriculture. We can build a more equitable and long-lasting future for everybody, especially for our rural women, by empowering them and valuing their knowledge and leadership potential. They can be leader of. They can be not they not only they will be not only the farmers. They can be the leader and entrepreneur as well, even in adverse condition. We can turn them to real heroes from unsung heroes. And from our experience in this project, I found that in Shatkira and Shamnagar, whoever I met, they have ability, they have intention to work with the new technology. When we started to give them the SMS or the voice message, or when they started to use the call center for taking the call, I found that they are extremely smart, and they could adapt with the technologies and everything so smartly. So I think this project could be a model for other women in disaster areas, and we can replicate this system for them and we can make more heroes, more leaders, and more entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kashmiapa, for your comprehensive discussion and perspective from gender lens. What we did. Now I would like to request Ms. Rokeya Akhtar, National Gender Specialist, Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations, to share her experience from FAO initiative with us. Over to you.
Hello, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Priyadarshini Appa and Dilruba Appa. Good morning. Thanks for inviting me here to talk about our activities, our implementation and gender dimensions, how we are considering in FAO. Though I have very short time, I think it's only 5 minutes is not enough to talk about all these works. I will try to make it very short. Actually, FAO has the agenda 2030 to make transformation, agricultural transformation, to make it more efficient and inclusive and resilient and sustainable agriculture, agri-food system. So FAO works with a strategy which has a principle of 4 betters. 4 betters includes better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and better life, leaving no one behind. So this is a very big, huge area. And we know that in Bangladesh, 85% farmers are smallholders, those who have less than a hectare of land. So FAO works with those farmers, and among them, 60% are women who actually supports and put labor in the cultivation. We try to put our strategy to involve at least 30% in every implementation, but it goes up. Like, though in the indicator may be at the design level not mentioned, but through the implementation it goes up to 80%. I will tell which project has achieved very good successful women farmers with the advanced agricultural system. But in general, FAO has the strategy to work with government and for the smallholder agricultural projects. FAO helps DAE, BARI, BADC, and DAM, the 4 units, and also DOF with the technology of advanced agriculture. So to enhance production of high value crops and climate resilient surface water management, low pressure, high efficiency irrigation system, and seed village model, these are specialty of FAO's work. Beside the agriculture, FAO also works with dairy production, livestock sector, and also the fisheries. So in dairy and livestock, we know women are the champions. Women can do 100% of goat rearing, sheep rearing, and they are very expert in dairy value chains. But what we see, the poultry is fine when it is small scale, but when it goes for commercial poultry, then it goes very down. So FAO has the target to give more training and capacity building to raise the knowledge of collective marketing and bargaining power, so that through the collective activities like with the producer groups, they can grow up and they can survive with the climate smart livestock farming. So this is the initiative solely for women who has the skill, but the link of market and commercial things should be upscaled. That is one part. And then when we think of emergency, then emergency requires some kind of special initiative, like FAO is working with Cox's Bazar host community, and there we are working with the farmer field schools. And over there, 30% are women farmers. Actually, most of the interventions, like training, input distribution, technology adoption, then any kind of assessment or survey, at least 30% women are ensured to participate. So in Cox's Bazar, to promote women in income generation, FAO has employed many women in nurseries. Women has the special skills in seed production and plants and nurseries. So having those in consideration, women are employed in those areas. Also, there are some technical areas like FAO is working with the landslide preparedness, where 21% women are participating in the training, and the groups who are getting knowledge about the search and rescue committees. So they are now aware of the landslide hazards and how to be prepared if the landslides happens. Also, when we did one mapping exercise for watersheds, for the major watersheds and socio-ecological aspects, then women were the participants, at least 33%. Beside participation, what is actually FAO's target? The target is to make a pathway where women can be women in the position of power can also get the knowledge and awareness to make some decisions for the sake of women. So FAO has conducted one climate risk and vulnerability assessment, CRVA, in considering the gender dimensions. So the framework and the tools and checklists that helps the fisheries department, government department, for further policy reviews and assessments and the decisions, and also for the early warning system. For fisheries sector, the early warning system has a different perspective and specialized area. So that in that area also FAO has given the inputs, technical inputs. For the national fisheries policy and the national fisheries and aquaculture strategies, there are some amendments from FAO has been suggested, and mainstream climate change and gender perspectives are included in the amendment. So we are hopeful that very soon the revised version will come up. There are manuals where FAO has technical support and to actually ensure women's leadership and participation in decision making in the producer group, in the community level groups, where the executive committee consists of 3 leadership positions by women. So these are the areas where FAO is working, and especially the digital village centers is the project where FAO has 60 digital villages in Bangladesh. FAO supported to establish that, and there are now hundreds of women working as the operator, not only the digital center operator, also the micro banking teller operator, which is a very specialized area, like women actually in the rural area for micro banking, microfinancing. Women are used to skilled in collecting installments and saving accounts by manual registers. But FAO has got the license from the FAO headquarters with a subsidy. It is called MBWin software, where women are trained and they are now very much confident that they can put entry of data of the members 10 times more than before. And they can show any member who wants to see their status of current balance or any payments. They can very quickly show it, and they are getting the trust from the members of their groups. So in the community also, these teleoperator women are becoming the leader and very trusted person. These are the areas how FAO think that uh, influencing women who are left behind and now progressing with accounts and also with the information as Dr. Kashpia told about the um, call centers, and women are very skilled in mobile transactions and communication. Like that, these women are promoting more women farmers in this digital system. So there are more works if you do for climate resilient activities. I think I can stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rokeapa, for your comprehensive speech on FAO's contribution towards gender and food security and livelihood options. So now let's go back to our last panelist. Today, we have agriculturist Ferdowsi Begum. She is the editor of Agriculture Information Service. So we wanted to know from Firdausi Appa that as an AIS officer, and when you are sending messages to the grassroots community, what is your experience with that, and what type of challenges you face while we send the message to the women specially, and also how would you manage this call center services with these grassroots farmers? Over to you, Firdausi Appa.
Thank you. Distinguished chair, distinguished speakers, distinguished participants, and dear concern, Assalamu alaikum, and very, very good morning. I am Firdausi Begum, editor AIS. I am honored to be part of this program as a panel discussant, and also thank the organizer to give me floor. Agriculture Information Service is an independent organization under the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. The main target of this organization is to carry the modern agricultural information and technologies at the farmer doorstep in grassroots level using print, electronic media, and ICT-based mass media. Here, I am going to discuss about print media. The most traditional ancient farm magazine of Bangladesh is published monthly Krishi Katha, and I am lucky to say that I am editor in this magazine. It is distributed at very low price. Krishi Katha is an informative agriculture-based article such as for production technology, future cultivation ideas, stories of successful farmers, etc. Already we have taken some effective steps to broadcast our service worldwide. Another printing materials such as leaflet, folder, poster, sticker, etc. also published in this AIS. Because of the purpose again, I am gonna talk about electronic media. With the overall supervision and support of the Agriculture Information Service, the program Matiyo Manush. It is being broadcasted on Bangladesh television 5 times a week. Another agriculture program, Banglar Krishi, has been broadcasting on BTV. Especially better program, which is also popular, Krishi Radio FM 98.8 frequency, with the slogan of Amar Radio, Amar Kotha Bole. We all know the slogan International Women Day 2023 is Digital Innovation and Technologies for Gender Equality. Here I want to highlight the female participation in our field that is very encouraging, such as better program, including about 10% women are involved in this program to help or reach the farmer by giving them the critical information of changing weathers and dissemination of agriculture information. To build up a smart agriculture, we also concerned about ICT, for which I am gonna talk about ICT and innovation media. The Agriculture Information Service first to set up 499 Agriculture Information and Communication Center, that means AICC, at the village level and has started dissemination of agriculture information at the grassroots level using ICT. Though this on an average about 15 to 20 people are getting information related to agriculture daily. As I have worked here almost 4 years, in the service I have got to know, according to my experience, that among these 499 service centers, about 10% women are connected with the service and earning create entrepreneur side by side disseminate agriculture information by ICT device. Now I want to discuss about our doorstep service of AIS that launched Krishi Call Center in June 2014 using a 5-digit short code 16123 that already discussed by the former discussion and panel discussion. Now it is solved various problems related to agriculture immediately by talking directly agriculture experts. Any one call 16123 from any part of the country to my mobile operator at the rate of only 25 paisa per minute, about 200 to 220 call solution are being provided from here daily. Among these calls, 30 plus calls are coming from women farmer, and they wanted to know about horticulture crop-based modern technology, cultivation technology, root garden technology, root garden problem, family nutrition, garden pattern, etc. But to get access to the serious, but to get the access to the service has challenges. There have no specific rules of regulation yet in our call center. The activities of the center are being conducted with the technical support of BDCom Online Limited and financed by an international NGO's Practical Action Bangladesh. But at present, there is no financial support from Practical Action, and it is sustained by manpower of project. There are 6 business cadre officers are in call center services. We have to take necessary steps to run this call center. My opinion, public-private partnership, that means PPP, can be best alternative to run this program. Our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina many times quotes call center 16123 name in their many various species. It is doing a great job for all kind of farmers. That's all. Thanks to all.
Thank you very much, Firdausi Appa, for your specific and short presentation or the information. Now, I would like to request Dilruba Appa to facilitate the question answer session. And again, I just want to emphasize that there is an interpretation system. If you would like to speak in Bangla or English, that doesn't matter. Just go for the interpretation system. Appa, we requested ICAT for 10 minutes more because we are already running behind for time, so we can get 10 minutes more to wrap up our session. Thank you. Over to you, Appa.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think, as you said, we really don't have a lot of time, but I see 2 hands. So maybe Selina Appa, I'm trying to unmute you. I don't know whether I can. You can probably unmute yourself, Selina Appa. You have had your hand up for a long time. Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you. Please, your question.
Okay,
please.
thank you very much to give me the time. I'm so happy to have this session and to share your knowledge with me. So, and I can now also share my knowledge. I already put some of my link in the chat box. So I'm happy that you brought all segments of women here, from grassroots to upper segment also. So the women have different problem in different segment. The problem is not same for the all segment of women. So that's a good thing. But nowadays, that I mentioned already, that we are actually we saw that the leadership position, the women are less now. I mean the sectorial position, not the political position. Sectorial position, professional position. So less women are in the leadership position, and in recent BCS, less women also coming, and also they are not interested to go abroad for higher education or to take the project leader position also. Although there are a lot of things that project leader position they can come. So I think it will be good for your project survey to include this, to make more leadership position in the upper segment, then it will automatically flow down to the grassroots level from the all segment of women's. So that's the most of the thing we need to do at this moment. I am really worried that in our time there was no mobile, no email, no only the post office in GPO. That time we posted our higher education for my PhD in Australia. At this moment I am in Australia. So how we did that, how much interested we are, but now everything on their hand, but they are not interested. So
Very
why
true.
the interest for leadership position is gone? So we have to find out that should come in our survey. That's my request to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rinaba, for shedding light on another gender perspective that probably we don't have. According to your observation, not enough women are coming up at the leadership level. So thanks for that observation. I have the next hand up from Saida Appa from Kurigram. Appa, you can you can unmute yourself and yeah, please. Your question, please.
Thank you, আপা সকলকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ সুযোগ দেওয়ার জন্য। তো আমি আসলে ফারুক ভাইয়ের প্রেজেন্টেশনটা অত্যন্ত চমৎকার আমি চেয়েছিলাম, আর আমার কোশ্চেনটা ছিল যে যেহেতু কুড়িগ্রামে ঘোলকানা ইউনিয়নে এই প্রজেক্টটির কাজ বাস্তবায়ন হয়েছে, যেখানে রিং এ কাজটা হচ্ছিল, কিন্তু আমার কাছে মনে হয়েছে আমাদের কুড়িগ্রামের ফ্লাড লেভেলের যে পানির উচ্চতা, আসলে রিং এর ক্ষেত্রে এটা কতটুকু সার্ভাইভ করবে। কারণ আমি ফার্মারকে একটা টেকনোলজি দিচ্ছি, সে কিন্তু এই টেকনোলজিটা নিজেদের মধ্যে অ্যাডাপ্ট করে ফেলছে, কিন্তু কুড়িগ্রামের পানির যে উচ্চতা সেটা মানে দিনকে দিন এটা বাড়ছে, যার জন্য রিং এর পদ্ধতিটা কতটুকু স্থায়িত্বশীল তাদের জন্য। আর আরেকটা বিষয়, যেহেতু এটা স্মার্ট ক্লাইমেট একটা টেকনোলজি বলছেন আপনারা, তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে আসলে এই পদ্ধতিতে করে ফার্মার তার নিজের পারিবারিক পুষ্টি চাহিদা মেটাবে, এটা ঠিক, এটা করতে পারবে, কিন্তু আসলে সে যদি আসলে সোর্স অফ ইনকামের জায়গাটায় চিন্তা করে, তাহলে সে কতটুকু বাজারে এই পদ্ধতিটাকে ব্যবহার করে সে তার আর্নিং সোর্সটাকে বাড়াতে পারবে, এই জায়গাটায় আমার কাছে একটু মানে মনে হয়েছে যে একটু চিন্তা করা উচিত। আসলে আমরা এত সীমিত পরিসরে কাজ করে আসলে আমরা কতটুকু এই টেকনোলজির ব্যবহার করে আমি আমার পারিবারিক মানে আয়টাকে বাড়াবার ক্ষেত্রে ব্যবহার করতে পারবো। এই দুইটা জায়গায় কোশ্চেনটা ছিল, যেটা আসলে আমি আপনাদের মাধ্যমে জানাতে চাই। ধন্যবাদ আপা।
Thank you, Saida Appa. I think ring পদ্ধতির ব্যাপারে আমার মনে হয় probably Farooq Bhai would be able to answer the question and the other one. So over to Farooq Bhai.
Yeah. ধন্যবাদ সাইদা আপা। আসলে রিং মেথড আমি অলরেডি টাইপ করে লিখেছি যে রিং মেথড আসলে কুড়িগ্রামেও, আই লিভ ইন দ্যাট এরিয়া, সো কুড়িগ্রামেও আপল্যান্ড লোল্যান্ড আছে, এবং আপনি যদি গোপালগঞ্জের কথা চিন্তা করেন সেখান থেকে প্রতি মাইলে 1 ফিট করে হাই হচ্ছে হিমালয়ের দিকে। সুতরাং কুড়িগ্রাম ইজ আপল্যান্ড, আনফরচুনেটলি দেয়ার ইজ এ বিগ রিভার। হাউএভার তিস্তা খুব মানে যমুনার চাইতে বড় না, সুতরাং ফ্লেক্সিবিলিটি তো আছেই। আমি বলছি যে রিং মেথড যেখানে আপল্যান্ড সেখানে হবে। রিং মেথড ফেইল করলে আপনি দেখবেন এর মধ্যে বাড়ি পরিবর্তন হয়ে যাবে, মানুষের বাড়ি হয়তো সমান হয়ে যাবে, তখন ছাদে করা শুরু করবে, রাইট? সো বাইরে আমরা দেখেছি যে ছাদে রুপটপে চলে যাবে, এরপর হ্যাঙ্গিং করবে, হ্যাঙ্গিং গার্ডেন আছে, হ্যাঙ্গিং গার্ডেন অপশনও ওপেন রেখেছি আমরা। আমরা বলিনি যে জোর করেই ওখানে ওটা হবে, বিজনেস মডেল ওইভাবেই ডিজাইন হবে যে আগে এরিয়াটা কত ফিট ফ্ল্যাট লেভেলে, এবং সেই অনুযায়ী সেখানে রুফ, হ্যাং অথবা পিট, হিপ, অল দেয়ার আর মাল্টিপল অপশনস এন্ড উই ক্যান ডিজাইন। তারপরে দেখবো আমরা কস্ট বেনিফিট। আপনি যেটা বললেন যে কি করে লাভ করবে একটা মরিচ চাষি, এই প্রশ্ন থাইল্যান্ড থেকে একজন বিশেষজ্ঞ এসেও করেছিল। তো আমার উত্তরটা এরকম যে আমরা কুমড়ার চাষ নর্থ বেঙ্গলে করেছি, তখন কিন্তু একটা কৃষক একটাই গর্ত করতো আর কি চরে, তারপরে 30টা করলো, তারপরে 15টা করলো, এরপরে সে যখন কনফিডেন্ট হলো সে 200টা করলো। হ্যাঁ, যখন 15টা করেছিল তাকে কেউ আসেনি, তার রিয়েলি বিক্রি করা খুবই কঠিন। কিন্তু যেদিন সে এটা শিখে গেছে, কনফিডেন্ট হয়ে গেছে, তখন সে একাই 200টা করে, এখন 1000টাও করছে, এক পিট আমি বলবো গর্ত আর কি। তো এটা একটা লোক যদি 200টা গর্ত করে, তাহলে 500টা লোক কত গর্ত করতে পারে, এবং সেই গর্তে প্রত্যেকটা গাছে যদি 50টা করে কুমড়া হয় কতগুলো হতে পারে। এরপর লরি চলে এসেছে কুড়িগ্রামে কুমড়া নেওয়ার জন্য, এসিআই ট্রাক চলে এসেছে, কুয়ালালামপুর থেকে বায়ার এসেছে ওইটা কেনার জন্য। সো দ্যাটস দ্য স্টোরি। Don't be disheartened. We have started just from our pilot intervention, but we have a vision for every crop, like chuijhal, like lemon, like moringa, that can be exported from Kurigram as well. So it's a scale up design. Basically, it will start with one single chili crop, but it will multiply if the business model is correct, if it is gender sensitive, if it is climate smart. We are sure that that will go into millions, and there will be lorries to take that from Kurigram to Kauran Bazar market, then to Kuala Lumpur maybe. So that's my belief, and I hope we will conquer that. Thank you.
Anik Dhanwad. Thank you very much, Farooq Bhai, and for the questions. I think we actually have run out of time, and I think it's been a very rich discussion. And as Selina Appa was saying, we have managed to have discussants and panelists from a wide range of background and work experience, and that has only enriched the level of discussion in this event. I don't think that there is much opportunity to, or rather it's very difficult to sum up the very rich discussion that happened at this event. But I just want to coin this word. I think Kashria Appa probably said that the women farmers of our country are the unsung heroes. A few are heroes already, like Bhuti Appa. But most of the women farmers in our country are actually unsung heroes. So it's time that we bring them forward and appreciate them and support them to take up the work that they have been doing with pride and contribute in the economic development of the country, as well as the resilience building of the country through their work. And the government, as Firdausi Appa was saying, has been there supporting these marginal farmers, the women farmers. And actually, she said about the Prime Minister herself, who is very keen about these issues, about providing support to the marginal farmers, including the women farmers. So we just have to all come together, and organizations like FAO, Practical Action, the government, UN Women, and everybody else. There are many other organizations who are working on this. We just need to join our hands and support our women farmers for the resilience of this country. So thank you all very, very much. A huge thanks to the team of UN Women who have been including Maud and Priyadarshini Obhi, who have been working relentlessly together with ECAD team, who have been supporting very much for us to arrange this event. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have a best day today.